Kindness is often seen as a virtue, a trait that defines a good-hearted person. It is associated with warmth, generosity, and compassion. Society encourages people to be kind, to help others, and to show empathy. However, there are times when kindness does not bring the respect it deserves. Instead of being appreciated, some people find themselves taken for granted, overlooked, or even disrespected. This paradox can be confusing. How can something as positive as kindness lead to a lack of respect? The answer lies in human psychology, social dynamics, and the way kindness is perceived in different situations. One of the main reasons why kindness can lead to a lack of respect is that people often mistake it for weakness. Many individuals assume that a kind person is someone who cannot stand up for themselves, someone who lacks confidence, or someone who can easily be manipulated. This perception arises from the fact that kindness is often associated with submissiveness. When someone is always willing to accommodate others, avoids conflicts, and prioritizes harmony over their own needs, they might be seen as someone who can be easily controlled. In contrast, people tend to respect those who are assertive, those who can set boundaries, and those who can say no when necessary. Being too agreeable can create the impression that a person lacks strength or conviction, making it easier for others to disregard them. Another reason why kindness can lead to a lack of respect is that people tend to take it for granted. When someone is consistently kind, helpful, and supportive, others start expecting it as the norm. Instead of appreciating their efforts, people begin to assume that they will always be available, ready to assist, and willing to go out of their way for others. This expectation can lead to a lack of gratitude, and eventually, a lack of respect. The more predictable someone's kindness becomes, the less people value it. It is a sad reality that many individuals only recognize the worth of kindness when it is withdrawn. Until that moment, they continue to take advantage of it without realizing its significance. Another factor that contributes to the lack of respect for kindness is that some people see it as a sign of desperation for approval. When a person is overly kind, constantly trying to please everyone, or seeking validation through acts of generosity, others may interpret it as a sign of insecurity. They may assume that the kind person is trying too hard to be liked or is afraid of rejection. Instead of seeing kindness as a genuine trait, they see it as a tactic to gain acceptance. This perception can lead to a loss of respect because people tend to value those who are confident in themselves and do not seek constant approval from others. When kindness appears to stem from a need for validation rather than true generosity, it loses its power. Kindness can also lead to a lack of respect when it is extended to people who do not deserve it. While being kind is a noble quality, offering kindness to the wrong people can backfire. Some individuals see kindness as an opportunity to exploit others. They take advantage of generous and compassionate people, knowing that they will not face consequences. When a person continues to be kind to those who mistreat them, it sends the message that bad behavior is acceptable. This reinforces a cycle where the kind person is continuously taken advantage of while the other party shows no respect in return. Setting boundaries is essential in such situations. Without boundaries, kindness can become a tool that enables disrespect rather than preventing it. Another reason why kindness can lead to a lack of respect is that it sometimes makes a person seem too predictable. In human interactions, unpredictability often commands more attention and respect. When a person is always kind, never changes their behavior, and responds to every situation with the same level of patience and generosity, they become predictable. Predictability can lead to a lack of appreciation because people do not see the effort behind the kindness. On the other hand, when someone is kind but also knows when to be firm, assertive, or even a little unpredictable, they are seen as more dynamic and interesting. People respect those who have a balance between kindness and strength, rather than those who are always agreeable. Kindness is an incredible quality that should never be abandoned. However, it must be balanced with self-respect, boundaries, and awareness of how it is perceived by others. Kindness should not come at the cost of personal dignity or self-worth. It should be given with strength, not out of fear or a need for approval. It should be directed towards those who appreciate it, not those who seek to exploit it. When kindness is paired with confidence, assertiveness, and self-respect, it commands admiration rather than leading to a loss of respect. Kindness is often seen as a virtue, a quality that makes the world a better place. It is encouraged in society, taught in schools, and promoted as a way to build strong relationships. However, there are situations where kindness can be misunderstood or even taken for granted, leading to a loss of respect from others. While it may seem counterintuitive, excessive or misplaced kindness can sometimes work against a person rather than in their favor. Understanding the reasons why kindness can lead to a lack of respect is important for personal growth and maintaining healthy boundaries. One of the main reasons people lose respect for overly kind individuals is that they perceive them as weak or easily manipulated. When someone is always accommodating, always saying yes, and always putting others' needs above their own, it creates an image of a person who lacks self-confidence or the ability to stand up for themselves. People respect those who have clear boundaries and who are not afraid to say no when necessary. A person who never asserts themselves might be seen as someone who can be walked over, making others take their kindness for granted rather than valuing it. It is important to be kind, but it is equally important to be firm and assertive when needed. Another reason kindness can lead to a loss of respect is that it often removes the element of challenge in relationships. Whether in friendships, workplaces, or even romantic relationships, people tend to value what they have to work for. When kindness is given without limits, without any expectation of effort from the other person, it loses its significance. If someone is always giving without asking for anything in return, others may start to see them as a person whose time and energy are not valuable. This can result in being taken advantage of or being overlooked when it comes to opportunities. People respect those who know their worth and who make it clear that they will not allow themselves to be used. Constant kindness can also create unrealistic expectations in relationships. When someone is always the one who helps, who supports, who listens, and who sacrifices, others begin to assume that this is their natural role. Over time, this leads to people expecting kindness as a given rather than appreciating it as a choice. The moment a kind person sets a boundary or decides to prioritize themselves, others may react negatively, feeling as though something is being taken away from them. This is because they have grown accustomed to receiving without giving. In such situations, the kindness that was once seen as a positive trait becomes something that is demanded rather than valued. To avoid this, it is important to balance kindness with self-respect and the ability to say no. People also lose respect for excessive kindness when it appears to come from a place of seeking validation rather than genuine goodwill. When kindness is given out of a deep need to be liked, accepted, or approved of, it often comes across as needy or desperate. People are naturally drawn to those who are confident in themselves, who give because they want to, not because they need something in return. When kindness becomes a tool for gaining approval, it loses its authenticity. Instead of being seen as an admirable quality, it can be perceived as a weakness. Those who respect themselves and give without expectation of external validation are the ones who earn the most respect from others. Kindness also leads to a loss of respect when it eliminates the need for accountability. In some cases, people take advantage of kind individuals because they know they will always be forgiven, always be given another chance, and never be held responsible for their actions. When there are no consequences for bad behavior, people lose respect for the person who enables it. True kindness does not mean allowing others to walk over you. It means having the courage to hold people accountable, to stand up for yourself, and to ensure that your kindness is given to those who truly appreciate it. Those who balance kindness with strength earn far more respect than those who give endlessly without any expectations. Kindness is an incredible trait, but it must be paired with self-respect, boundaries, and confidence. When kindness is given without limits, without expectation of mutual respect, or as a way to seek approval, it often leads to being undervalued and overlooked. People respect those who are kind but who also know their worth, who are willing to say no when necessary, and who do not allow themselves to be taken for granted. The key is to practice kindness in a way that is strong, intentional, and self-assured, ensuring that it is met with the respect it truly deserves.